I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
And what's up? What's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo, and it
I'm
is
Rob Van Dam.
live. Dang it. I was
Yeah.
going to build the suspense. The suspense was going to build, but no. It is Rob Van Dam. It's one of a kind with RVD. We're live on Rob Van Dam's YouTube channel, on RVDTV.com. Subscribe, like, share to either one. Do whatever. But yeah, we're here for a trash night, and we're here to talk with Mr. Rob Van Dam, the WWE Hall of Famer himself. Rob, how are you, man?
Nobody talks trash like dangerous Dominic D'Angelo.
Whoa, I do talk some trash. Some trash. Not a lot. I
All
pick
good.
and choose my
I don't know
moments.
what's on the back there. Looks like something we're gonna get suspended for.
Yeah, we might get a copyright flag for something going on back there.
What are you
Could
doing,
see.
man? What are you
Hey,
doing?
man.
Uh,
That dang movie's gonna get us all in trouble. There it goes. There it goes.
Katie has family here, so she's out of the studio visiting, but I bet we'll be graced with her presence before the show is over.
Oh, how about that? How about that?
She knows how to
Yes,
work
look,
the TV.
Rob, I don't know if you saw it too, but I also made a new graphic too. When Katie is on the show, I have this ready to go. Boom! Look at that. Rob Van Dam and Katie. Rob Van Dam.
Oh, dude, that is some fancy stuff. I like the
Fancy
font.
schmancy.
Good color to it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice,
So
nice font, size, and shape.
yes. So we'll be ready to roll if Katie does show up.
Cool.
But hey, we got some good folks in the chat. Maddie's here. We got Triple E in the house. We got Frankie Terrizzo, who always asks the good questions, and plenty more folks in here too, filing on in. So guys, if you have a question, if you're new to the show, you can always just ask a question. Super chats help get on my radar a little bit more, and it also helps out the show. But I always try to keep my eyes peeled for any good questions going on. And
These Thursdays go by so quick, dude. Like every couple of days, you're like trash night.
Trash night? You want to do trash night?
Oh, yeah.
And here we are.
Yes. That's one thing. There's two things. What's the other one? It's Thursday. Well, I guess it's also Thursday. It's the pool guy. You know, I got
pool guy.
Oh,
man.
They go by quick.
I'll have to incorporate pool guy into my questions when you're ready.
Katie loves LFG, so I know when it's Sunday too, because she'll be like, "Yay, we have a new LFG on." You know.
Oh, that's right. LFG's on. Yeah. How is that show going on right now? Are you guys still pretty interested in it and everything? It's holding up all right?
Yeah, she loves it. I watch it. I mean, it's entertaining. Mm-hmm. You know, I just like with everything, I can't help it. Like critique everything. You know what I mean? And like from the beginning, you know, like why are they not telling her when she's selling to quit? You know, grabbing her fucking arm. Like, if she sells one way, it's been like 2 seasons. When are they going to tell her? And then finally they tell her. And it's like, oh, the big payoff. I'm glad I hung in there.
They give cliffhangers for people in the business. For the
but
boys,
it's cool. I enjoy that over just watching matches, you know, because there's a lot of drama. A lot of drama added. A lot of drama that happens to, and you know, watching Booker and Bubba are funny, and Taker and Michelle cool, watching the chemistry. I don't know, you know, it's Shawn Michaels, by the way, put him over too. But also, man, it's pretty cool that you get to feel more like, you know, these young kids that otherwise I wouldn't give a crap about.
Right. Yeah. Because it's just, you get them in the mix with some of those legends and stuff like that, and some of your peers that you know. It's kind of neat to see that translate over on television, I'm sure.
Sometimes you see it grow so much, you know, like Katie will say, what's your opinion? Like after they have like a contest, they wrestle each other, and one guy gets voted off the island or whatever, and it'll be like, you know, sometimes I'll be like, well, dude had a better match today, but holy shit, like that motherfucker came so, and the girls too, you know, came so far since just a little bit ago, and this is only one of her first matches still, and yeah, it's something that you can get invested in, you know, and start forming your own opinions, just like the legends do, and there you go. it's, subjective. I can't tell you you'll love it because you may or may not.
Right, right. Well, is there somebody that stands out to you that you're like, man, they're a really good coach, this person? This, like, whether it's like Booker T or Bubba or Taker or somebody else even that's like stands out to you. That's wow, they got some good coaching skills.
No, I don't think that you really see that much of them coaching. You know what I mean? It's more them. It's more them just supporting people that are on their team, and like I said, a lot of drama in between, and the drama gets amped up a lot. Like the show has taken its own shape over the last 2 seasons to where the drama is increasingly like more of the show, and they have a creative way of doing it where they make you feel like they're giving you a lot of what's going on, but at the same time working you at the same time from a different angle, while they're showing you this trick here and you're going, oh, and then meantime they got you from there, suckering you from the other side, which is cool. I'm always trying to figure out what they're doing, why they're doing what they're doing, as far as intentionally the big changes on the business that have come late, by just, jerking the curtain wide open, so to speak. But it's something that what was I gonna say? I don't know, but you don't see them actually coaching. You don't see them actually one-on-one with the talent, saying, dude, you got to keep your body in closer to their body. So, you got to grab them. It feels like, there's too much space here. You're going to lose them. You're going to slip. You don't see all of that stuff. So I don't know, but they're all good. Obviously they all qualify. And, just another way for WWE to ooze some of its growth into another pocket.
That's it too. That's the key. And like, do you find that would there be a concern if you were on WWE's end that you're oversaturating like your product and exposing too much, or do you think that that's a fine balance because like there's so many different channels that you can tune into to consume WWE products, so not everybody's maybe not watching SmackDown that watches Raw or LFG or same thing. So, is there a concern for oversaturation? Do you think?
I mean, from firsthand perspective, I've always been concerned about it, but I don't think I'm the right person to ask because whatever analysis they go by tells them to do more and more, and it must be successful because they keep doing more and more. But I used to, when I was on every Raw, every SmackDown, every house show, every pay-per-view, I used to say that about myself. I'd say, why does everybody got to see me every single show? Like, why not? Because I was burnt out. That's part of my story was I got burnt out, and the monotony of just being on the road and just being on that grind got to where I wasn't enjoying it. Even just personally for me, I felt like, man, why? I mean, they're going to be, I felt, like I got to show them some different moves this week that I didn't do last week. And that was kind of one of the ways that I always had in mind, which guys that don't have different moves, they don't even have that. But anyway, that's part of how I was getting over it too. But I thought so. I thought RVD saturation, but on a bigger scale, even, back then it was just like, man, there's so many hours of wrestling on TV every single week. And that was when we were doing 2 hours of Raw. They didn't start doing 3 till after I was gone. And I was like, holy crap, really? I don't see it. I don't know why there's that much demand, but I guess it's validated because they keep going in that direction.
Yeah, I know they shortened Raw a little bit now. Like it's not usually 3 hours anymore. It's like 2.5. So they did kind of will it down. And then they had SmackDown go for 3 hours for like a few weeks, but I think that's switched out to 2 hours now. But it's still a lot of wrestling to watch. And it's like I do. I kind of have a concern of sometimes. I mean, I feel myself getting burnt out from time to time, but I'm curious about like how kind of more fans feel. But I think though too they have a reach of so many different ways to get new people into the product that it's. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing at the moment. And to your point, it's like from an analysis standpoint, I'm sure they have people like chopping up the numbers and figuring all that stuff out that makes it all work and kind of flow and where their demographics is and all that malarkey going on.
Otherwise, they wouldn't do it, right?
Right. So, but pretty interesting stuff. I did want to get your thoughts on something that's kind of off wrestling topic, but in the same realm. It kind of reflected what we probably talked about weeks ago. I don't know, Rob. Did you catch any of the news about the comedy show going on in Saudi Arabia? Did you see any news about that stuff happening?
No. What I missed?
Okay, so obviously WWE goes to Saudi Arabia, and they have the big deal, and WrestleMania is going to be at Saudi Arabia and everything. Well, like the Riyadh just put on a huge stand-up comedy event where they got all these major stand-up comics to go over there and do their stand-up basically, and like so they had like Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., Bill Burr. There's a lot of big names like Andrew Schultz. Trying to think who else was on there, but it's a whole list of names that's like really really big time, and but like I have some friends that are comedians and stuff like that in that realm, and then I know you have friends that are comedians too, and you do comedy too as well. But a lot of stand up says it in a way it goes against going over there. Kind of goes against being a stand up comic because you're limited to what you can say on stage. Like there's some parameters that go on, and I don't necessarily see that from a wrestling standpoint as much because it's wrestling. Like you put on a show and you do your thing. You don't have to really worry about offending people or upsetting people to a certain level of it all. But like with stand up, there's that thing where you almost have to push back if you're a stand up comedian against like authority or power, speak truth to power sometimes. Do you think that where do you kind of fall on that when it comes to what the stand up comedians are doing? Somebody that's getting a lot of flack, and the reason I bring this up is Bill Burr, who's like one of my favorite comedians. And he went over there and he's been speaking out against like billionaires and that kind of thing, and even in the past has mentioned about blood money and doing Saudi Arabia stuff, and but he went over there and he got paid big time though, and he talked about it and kind of praised Saudi Arabia for the atmosphere and everything like that. But I kind of wanted to get your perspective on something like that. Where do you fall in that line?
I feel like you're asking different complete different questions because when it comes about people feeling like mentioning blood money and feeling like it's morally wrong to go over there and support their country / culture, as in all the heat that CM Punk got at first allegedly saying something years ago and then going like that like that's coming from one angle. But if you're talking about being in comedy and being censored, as far as that goes, I feel like you got to respect the culture. You know what I mean? Like here, it's there's a rule within the comedy bubble, that says that if it's funny, nothing's going too far, especially in the roast world. That's people that bought a ticket to watch stand-up comedy. They're in your world. Outside of that bubble, you couldn't out on the street get away with a lot of that stuff. Go up to a recent widow and say, hey, 3 things that have been better about since your husband's been dead. That works within the comedy bubble, not outside of that. And I think that although it might be challenging, if you're going to another country, you got to respect their culture. And if you can't do it or don't want to do it because you don't want to compromise your art form and expression, I get that too. Just don't go.
Right. And so somebody like Bill Burr, who's kind of been outspoken and does that kind of stuff, like speaks truth to power a lot of the time, he went over there, and so he's the one that's getting a lot of flack for going over there a lot. But
did he adapt? Did he adapt? Did they like him?
He did. They liked him a lot. He went on his podcast and said like, how nervous he was about doing it because he didn't know if what he was going to say was going to upset people or anything like that. And he mentioned like jokes about like homosexuality and certain things like that, and like it went totally fine for him, so, what he said and everything like that. And so I guess he was pretty happy with it all, and like, but I think a lot of his fan base was kind of, oh man, this is kind of speaking to what you already said on like what you've been saying on your podcast and everything like that, and you went over there and did it and felt like he compromised himself in certain ways. Well, somebody like Shane Gillis, he actually refused to go. He didn't go. He declined. Like to what your point was saying, where he got offered like 7 figures to go over there and declined to go. Yeah, right. So, and I could only imagine what Bill Burr got paid. He probably got paid almost that amount, or if maybe more even for what I know. But Bill Burr, I think he probably got paid quite a bit. But
yeah,
yeah,
you know what? Like I liken it or assimilate it to this in the wrestling world because there's a lot of similarities anyway, as we've talked about going out there and performing live. And anyway, say I'm all about being hardcore, right? I'm doing an interview talking about I love the fact that when I'm out in there in the ring in front of the people, I don't really have to worry about rules because I'm RVD. I'm the whole effing show. People expect me to stretch the boundaries that I'm given. That's what being extreme is all about. So if I go grab a chair from the crowd, you know, and hit my opponent in the head, don't be surprised if I end up over the guardrail, maybe fighting through the crowd. Maybe I take a weapon from you. What do you got? A pair of sunglasses, rubber chicken? I don't want none of that. Got a pair of brass knuckles? I think maybe I'll take that. Wow. Thing is, now you come and see me, say there's a rule, you can't go over the guardrail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know what? Damn. That sucks. Well, I can't. What if I set him on the guardrail? What if I set my guy's stomach down on the guardrail and do my leg drop? Is that like going over the guardrail, or is that you know what? You work with it, adapt, and do your fucking job, or don't go. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Okay, no, I thought that was an interesting topic to kind of bring up to you because we've talked about comedy, we talked about wrestling, we talked about Saudi Arabia. So I was like, I wonder what kind of perspective that is.
I mean, I tell you the truth, this is a relevant thought that I have. It's never appealing to me to hear an idea about going to that side of the world. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't even like traveling anyway. So when someone calls and like, hey, we're putting something together, dude, it's going to be so much fun. You know, we're in Qatar, we're out there. I'm always like, oh my God, dude. You know what I mean? Like you don't know how much you could find so many more people that'd be more excited than me to go. You know what I mean? And anyway, that's always the case. But you know, for the right amount of money, then it's like, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy. I'm just saying someone got your fee, it's worth it. If it's worth it to you, then it's worth it. You know, for me, it would be a financial thing that would be the motivation in order to make that task happen. For some other people, it might be, you know, that's part of it, but really they just want to see the world and they want to get out and they love traveling, whatever. Everyone, you weigh your values on your own value system, and you know, so that's why everyone's got different values, as I say every single week. But when it comes to thinking about, and some of this could be even, I didn't do a lot of diving into books and studying, so I could have some misconceptions, possibly. It hasn't been important enough for me yet to really look into right or wrong here, but my thoughts when it comes to their prohibitive government or the prohibitive controlling perspective perception of mine of their government, it's a turnoff. You know, when I heard something the other day, there's that girl, I think in Abu Dhabi, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's an American basketball player. I don't know. I might have that story all screwed up now, but there's somebody, a girl that had some kind of drugs. Maybe they were sent to her.
Brittany Griner. Brittany
What's
Griner.
that?
Brittany
Well, no,
Griner, the
that was the one
WNBA
last
star.
year, right? Was that the black girl last year? Or is that the
That
new
was like
one?
a few years ago, I think.
Well,
She
there's a
got,
new
like,
one. Yeah.
oh, there's a new one. There's a new
We
one.
need to do a
Okay.
little more preparation if we're going to bring this shit up in the. No, but yeah, look it up though. Look it up because I
Yeah.
think it's Abu Dhabi, and I think they were talking about like that she could have life and I think that it was for something really lame. And I got to tell you, like I could definitely say, hey, leave anything at home, don't pack anything in the suitcase, don't have anything shipped to me or whatever. But just the thought of supporting a government that I find to be so overly conservative that it's restrictive to the very quality of life. I could see where in some ways I'd be like, wait a minute. I get you don't want to show a girl's titty, but I can't even see a girl's face in public. Like they got to wear those gimmicks. You know what I mean? And again, that's based on a lot of what I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know where they stand and everything. But yeah, can you look that up or no? Like,
So I typed in Abu Dhabi arrest, Abu Dhabi WNBA.
look up American. I think she's American girl. Drug bust overseas. No, not overseas. Abu Dhabi. If that's not it, we'll move on.
Abu Dhabi. Let's see.
Might not even be Abu Dhabi. What's isn't that the rich city that everyone goes to party and it's not
in
Abu
Saudi
Dhabi.
Arabia or Abu Dhabi's? I can't remember where Abu Dhabi.
I don't think it is Abu Dhabi. I think
Is it Riyadh? Let's see. I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything, Rob.
No worries. No worries. Let's move on. In the meantime, look at this cool pen I'm about to draw. Looks like a ghost. The button looks like a ghost, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's not a ghost. It is a M or some shit. It's part of their logo. So let's wait, you can't even see it there.
On it. Lift it up on the other side.
That's what I'm looking for. Same box. Don't worry, that was an insert.
Oh, okay.
It's not a ghost. It's like a weird M thing.
It's like an M.
But anyway, thank you to Breezy Blend for today's ice water hash rosin or poison rosin. We got CBD, Pegasus, Delta B, THC, what? Anyway, and it's disposal. And this is thank you to Breezy Blend for today's pen. I got a bunch of them here. I mean, I could have went with this one or this one.
Dang.
Yeah, I get, we always have them. This one looks like it's fruity. What? A fruity disposable pen stick?
Well, hey now.
Let's plug them, even though I'm not opening it right now. All right, lemon
stick citrus. STIQ.
Yeah, at first I thought that said LBTQ or whatever. Like, why? I don't know. It clearly doesn't. But it's got a T and a Q in it.
It's got a TQ.
Is there a Q in that? Yeah, queer, right?
Yes.
LBGTQ. Where's the Q at?
Q is at the end. LBGTQ. I think is now on there too.
What?
Yeah, they added a couple.
Well, we'll put these guys over next week.
Yeah.
I'll open them. Yeah. Anyway, we'd like to welcome all our trans fans.
Hell yeah. We welcome everybody here. Everybody's welcome.
What's I?
One of a kind.
B.
G.
I don't know what the B is. Oh,
bisexual.
Right. LBGTQ. Is there a Q? There's a Q. What's Q?
There's a Q. Yep.
What is that?
Q is queer.
So there's a difference between gay and queer.
Yes.
I guess. And okay.
Queer,
what would I don't. One more question. What's I?
Yeah. That's a good one. I don't know. I'm looking it up right now. LB.
Indica until that gets replaced.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can figure it. All right. Here it is, Rob.
Charged. Damn it.
L stands for lesbian. G stands for gay. B stands for bisexual. T
Sounds like
stands
you're
for
reading a Dr.
transgender.
Seuss book to me.
It does, doesn't it? Stands for transgender. Q stands for queer or questioning. I stands for intersex. And A stands for asexual.
Whoa, that's okay.
Yes.
That's quite a handful there.
That's quite the quite the one. Seth goes LBGT RVD +1.
Yeah. I've had these too long. They need charged before I can try them. But yeah, +1.
Another sponsor we have to put over. They just renewed with us too. Got to give a shout out to IndaCloud. Check out IndaCloud. You get 30% off with us now. So a big discount when you use inda.shop/RVD. You get 30% off, and they got a whole bunch of cool stuff too, like dope ropes, gummies, hard candy, everything like that. So check it out. IndaCloud's a cool way to get a little bit of THC fix for you. So check that out. Go to inda.shop/RVD and you get 30% off when you use code RVD. So help support the show in that manner too. So thanks for renewing with us, IndaCloud. Awesome stuff. Yeah. We do got some super chat questions in the house. Andres Gaming, thanks. You're a newcomer. Thanks for the Canadian $2. He says, what's Rob's favorite drink? Rob, you mix it up a little bit. Last time it was Irish coffee, I think you were having. What are you drinking?
Irish coffee is still well. I rotate between, I guess, about 3 drinks. You know, sometimes I like beer, but it's been a while since I've been on a beer kick. You know, like one beer sometimes when it's cold, whatever. But to drink and get that big full belly feeling of beer, it's something that definitely is at the bottom of my list. The first being an Irish coffee. I like Irish coffee when it's warm, so sometimes it's not the proper drink because you're too hot or whatever, in which case my second favorite, well, I don't know, actually. Depends on what I'm in the mood for. I'm not going to rank them because I also like espresso martinis. And that's a cold coffee drink. And usually if I'm not drinking an Irish coffee or a espresso martini, then I'm drinking champagne.
Yes.
Or Prosecco, because apparently it has to be bottled in France in order to be legitimate champagne. So I'm told.
Oh, okay. All right. I remember you were having the champagne when we were at Starcast, one of the Starcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's usually what I'm drinking, and it's light, doesn't fill me up, and it's got a good lift to it.
Yeah. Champagne is pretty darn good.
Not much sugar.
Not much sugar either.
I ditched the orange juice because of the sugar. Like when someone's got mimosas, I'm like, can I get a mimosa without the orange juice?
Just the champagne, please.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Paulina.
Got
Sabu sisters in the house.
By the way, I got the fruit stick open. It's charged. It's hitting, and it's good. It tastes like juicy fruit bubble gum.
Ooh, I love juicy fruit. But shout out to Paulina. Sabu's sisters Paulina. In the house with us. What's happening? Always good to see her.
Pauline, Sabu's sister in there. I wonder if she's seen the documentary yet.
I wonder if she's seen it. Yeah, let us know, Paulina, if you've seen the doc yet.
I haven't heard from her or her sister on that, so I'm assuming they haven't, but who knows? But good to see her in the house. Yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out to Pauline. Shout out to Dirty Big Bird.
Yeah, which, by the way, we've been doing well with it. We're enjoying the feedback that me and Joe are getting from people that have seen the Sabu doc, and we'll have more news on its distribution growth real soon. Some of it we're doing in stages, and what else? There's something else I wanted to say about it. I don't know. I guess just I'm doing some podcasts to promote it, as is Joe. So keep an eye out for us. I'm gonna do Sports Kita tomorrow. I don't know if that's live or not. Probably not. No, I know it's
They
not.
probably pre-tape it.
I already moved it 3 times. But yeah, anyway, I'm trying to get the word out there. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's easy. You just go to Kinema. It's like cinema, but with a K. Kinema.com. You don't need to download an app or any of that silly stuff. You just watch it right there. So in the meantime. So cool. Enjoy.
Yes.
My brother.
Sabu at Kidama.com. It's great stuff. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, really, really cool. Cool content. Joe did an awesome job. It was cool to have him on here last week too, and get both your guys' insight on the process of making it and everything. Where's the chat at? I lost the chat. Come on, comments. Oh, here we go. Triple E does follow up and asks, when's your next stand-up gig? Do you have any stand-up plans on mine, or you just do it when you kind of feel like it, Rob?
Yeah, I don't have any plans of it. Hadn't really even thought about it in the longest time, but recently a guy that books me sometimes did ask if I was down to do it. If he named a couple of clubs here in Vegas and said if I get one of those places as opposed to, something subpar, because you could do stand up just like with wrestling. You can be in big arenas. You can also be in like armories, VFWs, little shitty tents. Sometimes you kind of churches, you kind of go where you can fit the ring. But same thing with comedy. And I just like, I told him last time, because it was like some hall that he rented, and I told him last time, just let me know when you got a comedy club booked, and
Yeah.
and I've done a lot of the like bars, like where they're at bars, and the one cool thing about getting outside of a comedy club is entertaining people that didn't necessarily go out for that reason. But like if you go to the Improv, it's a different experience. People want to laugh. They're in the mood. They got there to do that. Sometimes if you're in like a bar and it's just comedy night, people are actually trying to talk and you're interrupting them when they try, the microphone is total different experience. But anyway, yeah, I don't have anything planned right now, but it's been coming up a lot lately. And, but right now that makes me think, maybe by the end of the year, maybe I'll do one somewhere. But yeah, I got to be in the mood for it, because I really enjoy writing, and I always think I'm gonna like write something a few days before, but I always wait till like an hour till I got to leave, and I'm cramming, and I'm like, what notes did I write? Because sometimes I'll do notes, where it strike me funny, and I'm gonna write that down and develop that later. And half the time I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm looking at cow's milk. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Cow's milk.
What does that mean?
And then other times, I'm able to do something with it. But I don't know. It's starting to sound a little bit of fun, but it's something that at least for one day I have to like really focus on. And leading up to it, just having anything on my list will take up 5 to 10% of my brain, just because I'm always reminding myself, like it's Thursday and I'm already like, fuck, I got to go to that thing on Sunday at 5 o'clock, like that's
right.
That's just, that's the way that my brain works. So, I've had a lot on my brain. I got a lot of shit going on. And so that hasn't been near the top of my list. And when I do it, it's going to have to be all like new shit too. Like I'll look at the old shit. There'll be a few things where I'll go, oh, that's right, I came up with that and thought maybe I'd build onto that or do something with that later. Or not actually, I look at my list, but it's I don't know. It would be easier to pick all the ones that have gotten the best reaction, put them together and do it. And that would be cool if I was like filming it, or a special or something like that.
Yeah, special.
Then if I could put all the best shit, practice it a few times, then do it. But as far as having a routine, and that's been and just going around the loop and doing like almost the same thing every night and stuff. I feel like artistically that would be unfulfilling in a way, even though I know I would get a lot out of it and you could tweak it up, make it better, this and that. But for me and what I get out of it, since I don't do it that often, I'm not looking to do that.
You're always kind of doing, anytime you go up there, you pretty much have fresh material then. At least something.
Yeah, there'll be one or two. Like I have a couple that are my favorite. Yeah, they're one of my favorites. Or I'll change something up, try and disguise it so it's looks a little different. But yeah, pretty much. I try to I put all the pressure on me of having to put everything together, remember everything, and I, if I can relate it, and have some kind of flow going through while I'm up there, then at least that helps. Like, oh yeah, after driving, I was gonna fucking talk about smoking. I have that transitional talk. That's right. You've been in the car with somebody and you go to light up a doobie and you roll the window down and they fucking turn the air off. Like, dude, that happened, man. Like, it's 90 fucking 5 degrees. What are you doing? They said, well, you want the window down or you want the air on? I'm like, who's paying the fucking electric bill here? Stupid stuff.
When you're on stage,
have you had anyone do that though? Like when you're in a car, that you can have one or the other. You can
have
the air on, or you can have the window down.
Or you can have the window down.
When I drive, I do both. I do them both, and I spoil myself, and I say, "I deserve it. I am king." But
I've heard this.
Other people act like there's an electric bill they got to pay, right?
Right? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It is true though.
Those things.
When you're on stage, do you remember all your jokes? I know some people like when they do.
I always every time afterwards, I'm like, oh damn, I forgot this one and this one. Yeah, always.
Because I know some people, especially when people just do open mics and they're newcomers and stuff like that, they'll have like their phone there and they'll like kind of lose track and they'll look at their phone real quick and be like, oh yeah, this is the one I wanted to do. I don't know. Some people do that, but
a lot of that probably is like real new shit. They wrote at the diner that day too, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I want to bring up tipping waitresses," and they write it down. Something. But I always do. When I went on tour with Tom Garland a couple times, like when we filmed Headstrong, I was doing 45 minutes to an hour every night, and during that time, I did like after the first 2 days maybe, then I knew I didn't forget anything. I would change a little bit, add a little bit, but after that I was doing like I was talking about, where just working on sharpening everything up and kind of going through the same path, same navigation night after night, and while doing that I was somehow able to remember everything. It was like a match. One of my favorite. Really like a match. It was kind of like on a story. I'm picturing the reaction that the crowd will have, hopefully, and thinking about even building it, like maybe before I say that, what if I throw this out first, and then that, just like a match, and going out there, and sometimes I mean, I'm a better wrestler than a stand-up comedian, but but sometimes, like when I get the reaction from the crowd, sometimes it's like just like right on the money, like boom, I knew they were gonna love that, Sometimes I'm like, that joke was way funnier than these people. These people didn't get it. People are stupid, and sometimes they are. Sometimes there's just people with wrestling shirts on that tour, especially because they were advertising me, every night on the tour, so it wasn't just popping up and popping in front of regular people on a regular night. They were there with wrestling shirts. A lot of them did not look like they cared about one joke. They were, in the front row just.
Yeah, they're just like enthralled with you. It's RVD.
Yeah, and they were just there for the meet and greet afterwards. Sometimes,
Right.
Cool. Obviously, I enjoy it, but it's not something that I've ever wanted to dive into. Like some people will ask, like, so how's that stand-up working for you? I know you've been trying to get into that, and I'm like, wow, you just made it sound like it's not working out at all for me. But
I don't know now. Is it? How is it
yeah,
going?
I thought it was cool. When I want to get up, there's several club managers that I can just call and they can say, yeah, how about 8:30? You know what I mean?
Hey, it's Dominic D'Angelo of RVDTV.com, one of a kind with RVD, and there's one of a kind deodorant you should be using, and that is Mando. Yes, I was just at an independent wrestling show, IWC, in Pittsburgh here, and I remember just sweating. I was sweating like crazy. It wasn't crazy hot, but I was sweating enough to know, hey, I need a little Mando. Thankfully, my brother, he had an extra stick in his duffel bag, and I was happy to have it. And you're going to be happy to have it here, too. My favorite is the Mount Fuji, but I also really like the bourbon leather. And this is the bourbon leather right here. An expert tip, I stick this baby in the fridge, and right before I go out, boom, I slap this on, feel great, and you feel confident too, and you smell great too. Another great product here is the deodorant spray. This is the Mount Fuji deodorant spray, and I tell you what, whenever you're really, really in a tight spot, and you feel like you need a little spray down here, this is perfect to get out there, get going, and not worry about what your musk is out and about. So we at RVDTV.com, at One of a Kind with RVD, have a special deal for our listeners. That is correct. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, this right here, cream tube deodorant as well, and then 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes. I also recommend the deodorant wipes. Those are great too. Plus, you get free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code RVD at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them that One of a Kind with RVD sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness.
But
yeah, I see that.
But yes, yeah, it's not. I actually thought when I first moved here, which at the end of Headstrong, I actually thought that I was going to do it a lot more. And I was talking through Tom Garland to a couple of clubs about like a residency deal where I'd be regular there. And then, man, shortly after moving here, I realized within myself, like, bro, I'm at this point in life because I don't want to work every day, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Like I look at the Stratosphere. That was one of the places that I was going to go. The LA Comedy Club. That was
okay.
Definitely one. And it's one place that I go more often than any others really. But that was one of the places where I was thinking, man, I might have like 4 days a week. Then I got to be there like at 8 o'clock every day, like a real job, you know. But it's cool. You can see the strat from like the whole city because it's so tall and stuff, you know. And I look at it and be like, wow, wouldn't that be a different life? Like that's where I go to work, you know, like 4 days a week, and that would be like, you know. And then I was like, I just moved to Vegas. I like the part of being interjected into the community, you know, and I like that part. There's my drive to work down Sahara Avenue, but realistically though, I was like, fuck no, you know, I don't want to. When it comes to actuality in practice, I really don't want to leave home, and you know, unless it's really really worth it, and that wouldn't be.
Yeah. And like you find your new realm of life in this way, and like you said, you earned and worked your way to get to this point where you can do this kind of stuff, and you can pick and choose what you want to do, and why have an obligation if you don't have to, you know?
Yeah, so. Like that's one thing with the babies coming. I'm really looking forward to the change up in the monotony. And the reprioritizing a little bit on the list that I use to do things. And I'm looking forward to actually even the pressure that's going to offer when it comes to reality. I know a lot of people are saying, remember you said that. But it's true. It's like, it's weird that like when I was choking on my schedule and say 2004, and feeling like every week traveling to 5 different towns, flying, driving, I felt like I was aging like 3 months every week, you know, and I was like, this is physically, literally probably going to kill me, you know? And that's how it felt when I was going through that. I used to just, man, imagine being able to actually accept an invite. You know, I get invited to someone's wedding or a friend's party or something. Imagine like actually, and you know, that's, you know, boo-hoo, you couldn't go to parties because you had to wrestle, you know, follow, you know, 60,000 people waiting to see you in Australia at the whatever dome, and this is what you always wanted to do. And that's true. So it's like, you know, there's always going to be a perspective you could complain from, even if it doesn't make it all the way out of your mouth. You know what I mean? Because we're always going through what we're going through, and what we're going through is right now. We're always the youngest that we're ever going to be. There's all kinds of consistencies that make that relatable. But at the time, you know, I was just like, oh my God, like to just be able to have time off and chill. And then when that happened, like it took forever till I wasn't counting the hours till my next flight, even if it's like 10 days away, you know. I'm like, shit, okay, I got 9 days. That means after tomorrow, then I got 8 days. And I already know, boom. It was just something really stressful. And point is that sometimes I can be in the other bubble where I don't wake up to an alarm clock. I wake up when I feel like it, when I've had enough sleep, which very often is 10, 12, 13, 14 hours. we sleep that much. We do a lot. I did last night. It's regular. Yeah. It's something that at least 10, quite often, you know, closer to 14 hours. And then get up slowly, you know, watch YouTube for a few hours, you know, smoke a doobie and drink coffee, and maybe a second doobie. It might be a 2 doobie kind of morning. And then, and anyway, at the same time that I'm so grateful and happy that I earned the lifestyle that I'm able to maintain to keep my Zen balanced, I still look forward to being able to figure out how to balance it with the challenge of the twins coming.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be a fun like challenge. It'll certainly be a challenge, I think, but it'll be a fun one because like not only it's one thing when you're on the road and you're doing wrestling and it's your job and it's part of your life and everything like that. But I mean, you get the added element of like taking care of a life that you created, and like that added aspect of it too will be rewarding, I think, on another level, I think, too, in a lot of ways.
It's already, like, I already noticed a long time ago, like it's easier for me to do things for Katie than to do things for myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I know it's going to be like that, and because of that, I'll be my day will be different. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'll have to give some stuff up in order to make time and room for other stuff. And I just think overall it's going to be, you know, productive, and looking forward to shifting some different gears that I haven't explored in a while.
That'll be pretty neat. That'll be neat, Rob. That'll be definitely neat. Yeah. Jay Grove says Paulina likes the film. Our whole family does. We just wish Johnny was in there more and less of his so-called girl.
Yeah. Well,
New bar.
I don't know if I mentioned, you know, we talked last week about making the movie and how Joe asked me to be more hands-off on this than I was on Headstrong. And so part of that was when I had notes, and I wanted to have as few notes as possible for Joe to fulfill that. So if any of them were just preference, then they automatically went on the chopping block, because, you know, if you could go left or right and it doesn't necessarily move the movie forward more or isn't better, it would just be better for me and what I would do with it and the amount of energy that I would look to get out of it. So some of that stuff went away right away. When it comes to that, that was one of the bigger notes that I kept in, and he did actually take her out of one or two cuts, but yeah, not enough clearly. But I did. Me and Katie both, we're like, dude, like, why? Why?
Why?
But it does tell the story of him trying to make the most with what he had, on hand, and also that being difficult and him struggling with that, trying to keep everything balanced in front of him, while at the same time giving off the signals that he's ready if it's his time, to go be with Melissa.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm happy Paulina liked it, and I'm happy the family liked it too. That's good to
Yeah.
hear. Yeah, heck yeah. Triple E
I
asks
would have
any
liked it more without her too.
right for sure, for sure. I know it's if that relationship was not good and she was not, you know, workable after the show even or after the movie,
Say no
yeah, it
more.
doesn't
Say
look
no
good.
more. Let me just say we gave her a very, very good chance. We were very friendly to her, trying to get to know her, and through that, we learned to form a completely different opinion on her just through dealing with her.
Yeah, sometimes that can happen, right? um, Triple E asks, "Do you have any stories of hanging out with Mr. Anderson or Mr. Kennedy or working with him in the ring, Ken Anderson?"
Not too many. Like he's not someone that I've been around a whole lot, a whole long time. I think in WWE, I think I was on Raw when he was on SmackDown. I might have been gone for a while when he was getting a lot of his momentum. Because I remember, like, as soon as I started seeing him, it seemed to me like he was like the new kid that was extremely comfortable already. That's the best way I can explain it, And in TNA, we were both there, and that's when I think probably saw him the most. Worked with him. We had tag matches with the Hardys and him, um, and during that time in TNA. As far as the story goes, uh, the one that popped in my head is not so much a story of him, but he's involved in it just because we're in England for PCW in England. And
Mm-hmm.
after the show, we worked at this venue that is wrestling. And then when the show ends like at 9:00, boom, it becomes a nightclub. And so, and I've been in a few of those, by the way. This one in England, it's like, yeah, hurry up and change. They're going to open up doors pretty soon. And like, you might be stuck, putting your boots on or naked, but people are walking in and it's crazy. But TNA ran one in New York also. Same thing. They might still run it. Same thing. It becomes a big nightclub like instantly while your bags are right there. People are dancing, standing over your bags. It's crazy. But this place in England, I remember we all wrestled there, and afterwards when it was a club, I was drinking, and Chris Masters was on those cards, and always got along really well with him. That dude that says he's Paige's brother, but I don't know if it's really a blood brother. Anyway,
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
yeah, you know what I mean? That guy, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Australia.
Yep.
Dude. No, I guess he's England. Anyway, I just remember I am standing by the DJ booth drinking, right? Just like being creepy. Looking around at the dance floor like a creep, and I was feeling good, and the guy with the headset that's spinning records or whatever, like he looked at me, and all I did, I tried to toast him. Cheers. That's
Uh-huh.
all I meant, right? I went like
Yeah.
this. I just went like that with my cup, Cheers, buddy. Like that. And he shook his head no at me. The fuck you mean no? He said, And I was like, what? So I did it again. I was like, I'm like, we couldn't hear each other. It was so loud. So I just did it again. I'm just fucking saying, here's to you. What the fuck? And he said, no. And then he pissed me off because he was like really dramatic about it. And so I put it up and I went, I just held it there, and he came over and he said, he or somebody came over and said, dude, if you don't stop, you're going to get kicked out. And I said, fuck him. What the fuck's his problem anyway? And so they kicked me out. So these guys came around me and like I was surrounded by everybody. They weren't physical, but they were moving me, because I remember going, oh, wait, I got to leave it. I forgot to tip the girl. Can I tip her? They're like, no, just go, which I don't even know if you tip in England. And if you do, I think I tipped her already anyway, but I forgot at the moment. But anyway, I got like 6 guys or something around me, all in a circle with the jackets on, walking out the front door. And then I went, they kicked me out and I went out you're being asked to leave for the night or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Fuck you. I went out the door and my boys were standing out there. Ken Anderson, I think Chris Masters. And we were just standing there like, hey, what's up? Yeah. And then we had to wait on one other person coming out, and then we all went back to the hotel. But it was just funny that I got kicked out, went from all that loud music out the door's shut, everything's quiet, and I look, and there's just, my boys standing out in front for some reason. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So
you don't even know why they necessarily kicked you, like why the guy was like saying no to you?
The only thing I could figure in my mind was that either he thought I was trying to offer him a drink, maybe.
Yeah, like maybe that was, I don't know. Yeah.
Or maybe he thought I was asking for a drink, which I never thought of till right now. Either way, stupid, Yeah. I wasn't like pissed or whatever, but I was just like, fuck you. Don't tell me no. Don't tell me no when I'm just trying
I'm just going, here's to you, man.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And then, but when I got kicked out, I remember Ken saying something about that he had heard. Yeah, I heard you were getting kicked out. What happened? You got in a fight? I'm like, no, that's stupid.
That didn't happen. He's so mad. Oh, that's funny shit, though. I always liked Mr. Anderson, though. I thought he was great. Frankie Chorizo. Can we hear a Johnny Ace trying to convince Stan Hansen to do a tribute to the troops? Also, any info on ECW affiliate, Paul Heyman affiliate, Steve Carell? So, can we hear Johnny Ace trying to convince Stan to do tribute to the troops?
Stan, it's a long trip, but you're going to see that everybody has a really good time. It's a really good time. A lot of good energy. The soldiers are glad that you're there. And sometimes you can even rape somebody. Oh, I didn't say that, dude.
Oh, shit. Oh,
that's fucked up. My mind just went to thinking about the poor diva, Ashley, that, what she went through. I can't help but think of that when I think of those trips. You know what I mean? Like,
man, yeah.
What an ugly story,
That's an awful story, man.
And I can't help. Yeah, every time I think of that now, I think of like, dude, anyway. Who knows what all the correct facts are? Either way, it's really ugly and heartbreaking. And man, that poor girl, she went through a lot. She went through a lot. Yeah. But anyway, I haven't heard Johnny talk in a while. I think it used to sound more like him in my head than it does now.
It sounded pretty good. I think you nailed it.
Iraq? You're not going to Iraq, right? It's volunteer, but they're expecting you to go. Steve Carroll, I feel like I just saw him somewhere recently. What would that have been? Possibly the ECW, Arena Sabu Memorial, maybe.
Oh.
He might have been there.
I never heard of him. Steve Carell.
Ring announcer for ECW.
Oh, okay.
I think he's a talent agent too, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
Hmm.
like I found that out like after the ECW days. Like he was, I believe, doing that, and I saw him somewhere recently. Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, he served as the radio play-by-play announcer too for the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh,
That's
nice.
crazy.
Does it say
Wow,
he's
did not
a,
know that.
Does it say he's a talent agent?
No, it doesn't say anything to that effect. It doesn't even mention his ECW tenure. It actually just mentions like all the hockey teams he was a part of, and that included the Flyers.
Possible I could have him mixed up with someone else.
Maybe this is a
So what was
completely
there,
different
Steve
Steve Carell.
D'Angelo? I mean, I know that's your name.
Steve DeAngelis. I remember Steve DeAngelis.
Was he a ring announcer?
He was a ring announcer, yeah, for ECW, and then he
I
did some
have them
MLW
mixed up.
shows.
Steve Carroll might be a different Paul affiliate.
Maybe that's it, because, yeah.
Was he the money guy, the weird money guy that I can't remember that guy's name. We just called him Smiley because he had a really grumpy look on his face all the time and treated the boys like we were all just, replaceable pieces of flesh. And
Oh, man.
he was there for, I mean, that name fits him. Maybe that was that guy, but doesn't seem like the Steve. But yeah, I don't know.
Smiley. I love it when the nicknames are ironic, like Tiny,
Yeah.
when they're like a big person.
Yeah.
Smiley.
It's funny. Smiley.
That's pretty funny shit. Smiley.
Yeah, I wonder if that was there a picture of him.
No, I can't find anything. I typed in Steve Carell, ECW.
Carol.
But I don't. Carol. Oh, is that him? I don't know.
Because that guy would have been a silent guy too. Like he was just in the shadows.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about necessarily who that is. There's another topic I'm
enjoying my fruit stick.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah, thank you to LGBTQT RVD Stick Citrus.
Stick
Select all in one. Lemon
Check
Oh,
it on out, folks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me see here. What another question or some topic I stumbled across was people taking to social media in AEW if they're not utilized on television as much as they want to. There's a couple of talents there. Apparently, Queen Amanada, she just put something on X that said, "I'm going to put this out there, cough, cough, TK. I need more promo time and would love to be in the mixed tag matches." She mentions Tony Khan. She referenced Tony Khan. "I need more promo time and would love to be in the mixed tag matches." And then Deonna Purrazzo added underneath that tweet, "Sign me up too." I was trying to correlate that maybe with your days, whether that's in WWE or in ECW. Like, did you ever feel the need to go to Paul or Vince or anything like that and figure that we talked about you were worried about being oversaturated, but were there times where you felt you needed to be used more and you had to go to Vince or to Paul and be like, "Hey, I would like to do more of this. Could you put me in that situation?" Like, did you express that to Paul or Vince at times?
But anyway, is it going to them or is it going to the social media world?
That's it. It's going to. The thing is they're expressing their desire to get more time to the world. So in social media, it's going to social media. But obviously, I'm sure it might hit Tony Khan's radar because maybe they aren't connecting with him directly during the shows or something. That's the only thing I can kind of.
Sounds crazy, but maybe that's appropriate by social media age standards. We didn't have that back in the day. Did we have? No, we didn't even have like Twitter till
No.
I think it was like 2000 or the early 2000s when
it was 2000. Twitter really took off, I think, like 2009 or so.
Oh, so yeah. Because I remember when I was in TNA one time when I was just starting to use it, and I think they opened up the account actually TNA.
Wow.
Yeah, for a bunch of us that didn't already have it, and I wouldn't have got one. But that was 2010 when I started with them, and so that makes sense. But I didn't know anything about it. I remember thinking fan accounts were the actual celebrities. Oh my God, this gorgeous model is writing me. Holy crap! Like not realizing it was a fan of hers or whatever. But I don't think so, dude. I can't imagine going to Vince or going to Paul and saying, "Hey, quite the opposite. Not use me more." When I got my first contract with ECW, this would have been 98, and could have been 97, but I think it was 98, 97, 98. And it was during that whole Mr. Monday Night thing where we were invading Raw. RVD gets offered a job from WCW, Eric Bischoff, the internet. So we know the internet was there then. Wait, what year did I say it was? No, I'm confused.
Well, 97.
So, but that doesn't mean Twitter was there, but the internet was there because we had the smart marks. I mean, the first time I went to ECW, the smart marks were the ones. Oh, but they also read the printouts back then
they read the dirt sheets back then. Yeah.
Well, anyway, whatever the smart marks were reading, everybody said RVD's going to WCW because that's what the ECW stars were doing back then, was leaving for greener pastures, more money, exposure. And I had an offer. And at the same time, we have our first ECW pay-per-view, and I'm stoked, excited for the company, except for I'm not on it, so I'm offended. And I'm thinking, shit, maybe I should leave. I mean, Paul doesn't seem like he's trying too hard to keep me here by not booking me on the first chance he has to show the world what ECW is about. No, fuck that. That's bullshit. And so Paul had a meeting with me, and this was before the Lance Storm match at Barely Legal. And he said to me, "What could I do to make you happy and keep you here? Ultimately, what is it that you want? What would make RVD happy?" And this is why it's relevant to what we're talking about here, the question. I said, I want to work less and make more money. Boom. So I knew that way back then in 97, because that's when I did the invasion angle, was 97, and wrestled the young Jeff Hardy. So way back then, my first matches were in 90. By 97, I already knew I want to work less and make more money. Ultimately, that's what's going to make me happy, because I've been working my balls off and not quite, able to afford the big Hollywood superstar lifestyle that I wanted. So unlike a lot of wrestlers, unlike Sabu, who would have just said he wants a chance to wrestle more. That's what he would have said. He wants to wrestle every day, wants the openings and opportunity to be able to wrestle for other people when the schedule permits and he's able to. And he would have got more money by working twice as hard for it. That's just more where his mind was compared to where mine was. Even at that stage where I was just starting to get a brain of my own, because prior to right then, I was just a soldier for Sabu. Whatever he said, I would have done. If he would have said, go up there and kick Paul in the nuts, I would have just went up there and said, "Sorry, man, Sabu said to do this." Bam! I would have fucking done it, It was after that I started realizing, well, some of my thoughts and feelings are a little different than Sabu's. So, then I started peeling off into more of having my own identity. And during that time, we were working against each other a lot too. So that was like really super cool to develop both with and apart from being his symbiotic creature.
Wow, how about that? That's cool though.
Yeah.
Where did you get so I find it really cool though because like you had that mentality like work less, make more money. But like you started off too as a fan of wrestling, getting into it. So was there a certain point that you were able to think like that? Be like, yeah, I like what I do, but I would like to work less and make more money. What gave you that money mindset more so, where you made it look more of as a job than you did as the fan aspect of it all?
Right, right. I don't know. That might be something I might have to hit you with next week after like
Yeah.
really going down memory lane. If there was a certain story or did I hear somebody advise that at one time? Because right now I can't remember. I remember 92, 93, more work, more work. 94, 95, more work, more work, more work. 96. In 96, I still wanted to work more, but I was something happened in 96, I think. But I do know that like when I was wrestling in Japan, and I've said this a lot, but they paid me really well on a comparative schedule to what I was getting doing the indies. So first time I go to Japan was 93, February of 93. And at the time, I was wrestling at the Sportatorium in Tampa on Thursday nights once a week for like 35, $40.
Wow.
Uh, Also, though, by the time the trip actually happened, I was in WCW. In WCW, I was making $150 a match.
Hmm.
Although if it was TV, they would dock $50. So $100 for the TV match and then 150 for 2 or 3 house shows later. That's a lot of work already being on that grind, doing four days, a fifth day to get back home. Um, that's already quite a bit of a grind for making that kind of money. And you know what? I didn't know that they were paying for like my hotels and stuff until they told me they stopped. So I was paying for that, a lot of that stuff. And like, what was I going to say about that? So anyway, $150 at the most in a match, other 135, whatever. I go to Japan and they pay you on a weekly deal. And my first trip when I started there, making this kind of money, was I believe $2,000. I believe that's what they started me on a week. And that meant,
Wow.
yeah, 4 or 5 matches, could be 7, but it wasn't 7. We usually had at least one day off a week. And then they started me on that. So then I started automatically through experience realizing, wait a minute, I can work my balls off, like every weekend, every week of the month. All right, let's say I do 3 or 4 matches a week and I'm doing that 3 or 4 times a month. So now I don't know, 12, 16 matches every single month. I'm making this much money and boom, boom, boom. Or I can go to Japan for 2 weeks, come back with this pocket full of cash and not have to work for 6 months. Back
Right.
then that money went really far. I had a cockroach infested apartment, that was like $400 a month. And then I could just pick and choose, my bookings. So if they weren't offering me enough, or I didn't really want to work for that guy, or whatever reason, I was like, I'm gonna go back to Japan for a 3 weeker in June. So I'm good till then. And so maybe just experience taught me that was better.
Yeah, maybe because I was thinking, like, I was like, where would Rob mess? I just kind of assumed in my head, like, maybe the Sheik taught you that, or maybe Sabu in some way taught you that. But then, like, I started when you were talking, I was like, well, maybe like him being around like somebody like Stan Hansen who made like a killing in Japan, had something to do. But that makes sense. Yeah, you being in Japan and making that kind of bank, that
Yeah.
probably set a good foundation for your thought process.
And after
Forward.
being in Japan, like I like the 2-weeker because that's in February every year, and so that was my favorite. The longest one was in November. It's a tag team tournament that's 5 weeks, and then the other ones are in between. If you were full time back then, I think it was 8 trips a year. But when I would come back home, I would be so tired, man. It would take me like a week to kick off the jet lag. Horrible feeling, but I got to where I found that the other guys, they're making a little more than me when I started out. I was the greenest guy, but the other guys that were working regularly for All Japan, they wouldn't really do too many indie shots, if at all, in between, because 1, they wouldn't have to, 2, they were tired, and 3, man, sometimes it's nice to just be like, boom, I'm off till October 10th, and then I got to go back over there. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Take your breather and enjoy your time off, and then go back and do some work over there for a little bit. Like,
Yeah, instead of grinding and hustling and working with shady promoters or whatever the options are,
Right. Jay Grove follows up too about the Sabu thing. They say, I agree, it was his raw life, referring to the documentary. That was Sabu. They add, we love you, RVD. And then they also added too, that's from all of us. So it's from the whole Sabu family. So saying
awesome. Cool. I appreciate it. And yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, that is one great adjective to use is raw. Personal is another good adjective to use.
Yes.
Like there's scenes on there where everyone that's been with me during the viewings when I've watched it, every time someone is like, I'm surprised you left that scene in there with this or that, when he's shitting swamp water in his ass, or when he's, he's sniffing looking like he's sniffing the coffee, or when he's like, doing whatever it is, it's like, he knew the camera was rolling,
Yeah.
He was doing that. Some of it he might have been doing to entertain the camera. You know what I mean? That's just,
for sure. Yeah.
You get to decide that. You get to see Sabu at his realist, how he is when it's me and him hanging out and we're not in the ring, and he's not the embodiment of the Sheik necessarily at that moment. You know what I mean? Big difference. Big difference between when he knows he's being watched and when he's just hanging out. And even though he knows there's a camera there, it wasn't acting.
It wasn't acting, yeah. Heck
no.
Yeah.
He just got used to Joe being there with a camera, filming him for hours at a time and stuff. And so it's way different than when you're acting, saying a line, trying to put this specific impression and image out that's your job. Instead, you get to see Sabu. So, hopefully you love him like I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I liked about it too, and I said this last week too, is like, I love that it was like this raw look at Sabu. The bond, a big aspect of it was the bond and friendship that you guys had. And then I thought like another character in it was the city of Las Vegas, and I thought Joe encompassed that really well in the documentary itself too, and really added to how Sabu lived, in that moment in time too as well. Like, so I thought that was just really well done stuff. So.
And you know what? Like it's the way it shows him downtown Las Vegas, like down like walk around like on Fremont. I mean that was those were his grounds, like that was his area, hung out and stuff. And it kind of goes to show you, like, you just never know who you're passing on the sidewalk,
Right. Yeah, that's it too. Because I mean, like, I was so familiar with Fremont Street even before I knew like Sabu would hang out there, or like that was like the nerd bar. Like I was familiar with it, so even seeing that element and Sabu in that element was such a like, I don't know, like a cool experience to see on film as well. So yeah.
I love the area because I love the history of Las Vegas, and of course, I wish I had more time to hang out with them down there, and I wish I would have done it more. And taking him up on more of those offers to come and hang out at the nerd. But I think, like we said earlier, You see him today. And it's not about his whole career up till this point. That's a whole nother movie. It's about here's this guy. He got here, and you can tell by looking at him, and you get to figure out how he got here. By seeing like what Sabu means. What does that word mean? What does it mean to people? And you see all of that, and to see, like I said earlier, here he is today at this point in life, doing what he's doing, wanting to have the last match, feeling like he's at the end of his career, but also feeling like, prospectively, he's kind of telling you maybe some of his best days are behind him. He's showing you he's trying to do what he can with the days ahead of him. Turns out there weren't too many days ahead of him after all to even worry about.
Yeah, right? Man. Yeah, great stuff. Sabu's the best. Frankie Terizo, thanks for the $2. He says, did any old school wrestlers show you some hooks?
Definitely. I'm trying to think of any examples that I can. Did Sheik show me any? Okay, here's one. Here's one that's worth talking about. Because according to my training, a lot of wrestlers do the headlock wrong.
Oh, okay.
Standing headlock. And when I say wrong, it's probably not wrong, but I'm just saying for my training, according to my book, and here's why. When I have somebody in a headlock, I'm giving you a good shot of my bicep while I'm squeezing, and I got his side of his face against like the side of my chest here, right? The bottom arm is wrist up. That's the way that I got taught. And I got taught if you need to hook somebody because you need to slow them, you need to show them settle down, or you need to fucking hurt somebody. One of the simplest ways to do it is just to turn the top wrist of the up because it's bony. And now when you get in that headlock and you squeeze it, it puts the bone into the muscle that's on the side of your jaw here on the top, and it hurts so fucking bad. And a lot of wrestlers that are younger than me, I don't notice anybody that's in the old school, but I notice a lot of younger guys do their headlocks naturally with the wrist up, with the bony part up, and they're not squeezing that part, so they're not trying to hurt the person. And when they're doing that, I don't know if they just think they're being fancy and doing like a different version, or if that's just the way that they got taught, or none of the above. But what I do know is traditionally, this part here, the soft part, feels a lot better on the side of your face than the bone. And when you're trying to, you start putting that bone into it while you're squeezing their face. It hurts a lot. And Sheik showed me that one.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah,
simple. I would have never done that. I would have never known that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of young wrestlers that do the bone up don't realize the difference. I think they're either just trying to look different, or like I said, maybe they were taught that way by someone younger, or maybe whatever. But I don't think. But they're not doing it for the same reason. Like old school, like there's times when you're doing shit because you just turned it up a level. Like, hey, we just went up to a whole other fucking level here. You want to go back down now, or you want to stay up here?
Yeah, what do you want? What's up to you? What do you want to do? I can turn the wrist. I can turn the wrist.
No. Sometimes they do.
Jake, sometimes they do, right? No. Jay Grove says your tribute at the memorial in Lansing was an honor. Thank you, sir. Paulina absolutely loved the scene where you guys were riding bikes together. I know that was my favorite. That was her favorite part of the documentary. That was my favorite too.
Yeah, awesome.
My favorite part.
That was. Yeah, I would love to go. I would love to do 7 more bike rides with them. Yes. It's something we both like doing. I mentioned before, he parks his bike outside and it gets stolen, and then it's not like he learns, like he'll do the same thing again every time. But he had a lot more faith in humanity, like just giving him good energy back, and that always bit him sometimes. But I think that it was an actual motorbike that got stolen outside the Nerd, like a scooter of some kind. And then but I think that the bike did after we filmed it too, I believe.
It's funny, after you said that, Rob, anytime I park my bike, I think of Sabu now, like leaving his unlocked.
And that was just what he was. I mean, I don't tell anybody this. I don't want this out there.
Okay, we won't.
One time he borrowed my car, and it wasn't, like a super nice car, but when I got it back, he had it out first, not in the best neighborhood, windows down, it's keyless. All you gotta do is push the button to start it. Windows down, the key was in the center console. I don't know if it was chewing tobacco or something. Wine was spilled. Melissa, I guess, had spilled some kind of wine all over the carpet, so it reeked really bad. And it looked like the car hadn't been washed, and instead, like they were doing donuts out in the desert, maybe rolling the car, maybe. And he's like, just showing me where he wasn't like he's handing me it. It was like, I got it. It's parked out here. You can go ahead and get it. And it was like, dude, you know how easy somebody could have stole that? And I couldn't even like really be upset at him because his thought and his perspective are just so in it. He's like, no, it's good there. That's not that bad of a spot. And I'm like, not that bad of a spot, dude. It's a horrible, shitty neighborhood. The windows are down. All you gotta do is push the button and you can drive it, except for it's out of gas, so you're not gonna go really far, like. But I mean, like at first, Katie really was kind of upset because she thought that he was like that he did that deliberately. But that's just Sabu. I knew, it wasn't like he was mad or anything. He was like, he thought everything was fine. Like what?
Everything was good.
What?
Was good,
all the windows are down. The keys are in it. It's empty on gas.
It'll be good.
Yeah. He always thought the universe was just gonna kiss him back, He kissed it, sent out love, shared his, whatever he could, shared everything that he could with everybody, and in return, he had some blessings to count, and he did, but a lot of times he also would get bit, but not change. Which is admirable, I guess. Just like I say, you get your heart broken, it's easy to change and put a wall up and say, I'm never going to love again. But, to go ahead and not close up, keep your heart open and keep experiencing. It keep yourself open to more good possibilities that wouldn't be there if you kept it closed, like that's something that's, like I said, it's not that easy to do. It's respectable. And Sabu was going to Sabu till the end, no matter what.
Till the end, right? That was Sabu, right? Yeah. Paulina adds that Rob Sabu is a horrible driver.
Yeah, no doubt. I got lots of other stories that, that I'm not going to get into right now. But yeah, he was.
Well, Alex adds for $5. Thanks, Alex. How did you work a match with a guy that couldn't speak English? Would you have to rehearse the whole thing ahead of time, or did you just rely on feel? So when you're in Japan,
for the most part, you just have you speak the same language with your bodies, and that's, you don't need to know. So like for All Japan, usually, like, say there's a 6-man that's going to have 2 veterans and 4 green kids, young boys or whatever. The young boys might come over early. The veterans aren't. You're not going to see them. They don't give a fuck. They'll just see you in the ring. The young boys might come over, and that's just to see if there's anything that needs to be talked about ahead of time. Otherwise, you go out there and you do what's called catch can. and you know you're going through reversals. You're trying to. That's where it's like really hard for fans to understand because you're working with them to an extent, but at the same time, there's a lot of competition involved in it. You know, like if somebody wants to make you look bad by doing like amateur style wrestling and wants to rub your face in the mat and spin around on your back and make you look like you don't know what you're doing, you don't want that normally, you know, and so you want to look good too. And so you got to balance, you got to learn like how much do I want to go ahead and give and feed in without seeming like a total prick, like I'm not going to work with him, but at the same time, I want to look good too, and don't want him to outshine me and outsmart me. I actually miss that part of the business a lot of times. You know, you're in there with someone doesn't speak the same language, doesn't have to. It doesn't matter. They got you in a waist lock. You know, 5 different reversals you can do to get out of it. You know, so which one you're gonna go for? Maybe I'll try and get my hand in there. No, let's see. Can I? No, can I? You know, and you're actually like, hey, and guess what? He's not giving it to you. He's trying to counter it. So when you're trying to do that, he's squeezing harder. You're trying to reach his head. He's moving his head. That's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level. You know, when you're super green, you don't know how much to give and get because you're looking out for yourself. And that's really what you're there for, is to get yourself ahead. Your image, the way people perceive you, that is going to determine your value, what you're worth. But you can't go out there and be a total asshole and not work with someone, and just because then that's not going to be entertaining either. You gotta be well rounded, and it comes with experience with a lot of different people from different styles of wrestling. Really,
man, yeah. That's the neat thing about it too. It's like you got to feel the flow of the water going a little bit, and that's the neat aspect. It's neat. It's cool too because like this was like last week when we were recording with Kevin Nash. And Sean Oliver was mentioning like ECW and stuff like that, and how I can't remember like a lot of the hardcore stuff going on. But then Nash was like, yeah, but guys like Rob and Sabu, they had like the wrestling aspect going on in it too, where it would be like, you know, that kind of thing. And you guys really incorporated that, but added that to your own style and the own unique way.
But everybody was different. You know, there was some guys that's all they had, like Lance Storm. I think Jerry Lynn might have been one of those. We had hardcore plus extreme wrestling. That's all they had was being extremely well technical wrestlers. They weren't really, you know, hardcore at all. I mean, Jerry obviously proved himself, but he didn't come there. We had to dirty him up. You know what I mean? And then
yeah.
And then Lance. You know, I remember I roomed with him. My first time in. One of them anyway, like Paul put us together in a room, and I remember thinking, Lance is hardcore ECW, like what you know, like I don't get it. And then I saw how everyone kind of had a complete different take, different perspective, a different flavor to add to the whole stew, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I would say to the opposite of Lance, I would say like New Jack and Mustafa did no wrestling.
Right. Yeah. That's it too. No, that's what made ECW so unique too, is all those different styles coming and clashing together, and plus that edginess that went to it too, and the underground vibe. Alex follows up too with kind of a question in the same realm. Thanks again for the $5. He says, how did you differentiate when guys were being snug versus being stiff with you, and how patient were you with giving receipts? So we talked about snug versus stiff a long time ago, I think at the beginning of the show when we started. But you can. What's the difference between being snug and stiff, and then how patient were you when you had to give receipts?
Really, if there's a difference, then it's just slightly in the degree. I think. Mm-hmm. I think it kind of refers to the same thing. It's just that snug is a friendlier word. Stiff implies that you're actually possibly maybe a little that there's some danger involved, maybe because you're so snug. But in reality, most people that are one could be described as the other. It just depends on how friendly you want to be. And you know, it's circumstantial. It's something that's really circumstantial. I've explained a lot of times, like for in Japan, Kawada in particular used to be really stiff with me all the time, and I stopped taking it personally and started. Well, I stepped it up. I guess I did still take it personally when I decided to give it back. But then I realized that's what he wanted. He made me step up my game and overall improved everything. And then even to pull it back a little bit, like, whoa, okay, you know, he's up. And that was something that at first I felt insulted, and that gave me the motivation to be like, man, I'm gonna kick that motherfucker hard as I can, man. Fuck him. I'm sick of him doing this. And then I learning from it, and then learning I was too soft. My shit looked soft. You know, him selling soft shit would make him look bad. So of course he's not going to sell it, you know, because he has enough experience and control over his own image to notice the difference on the spot. And that's something too. Sometimes you don't know if something's coming in really shitty and you sell it. And sometimes, and you see those botches where there's not even contact when one person sells it. Oh, you know, that's why I prefer it being snug, and then, you know, you got something to react off of. But with certain people, you might have heat going with them where you're just waiting because, you know, as soon as they tap you, you're going to tap them like right back, and you just know what's coming. And sometimes after working those people over and over again, sometimes that can even build, you know, and then other times it could be looked at as totally unintentional, could laugh at it. And if it's somebody that, you know, especially that's a real good friend of mine, and I know like it just happened, you know, then of course I'm not going to hurt them. You know, that doesn't even cross my mind wanting to hurt them. They, you know, something fucked up. And a lot of times it's my fault. A lot of times people are apologizing, but it's me either leaning in too much, coming in, or even sometimes wanting to take it. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I'd be in the corner and somebody, this was during the non-ECW days, it was a long time ago, but they would be punching and I wanted to take it in the face, but they were hitting me in the chest. So as they're doing it, I'm trying to come down, and as I'm coming down, they're coming down even lower, and I'm stuck because my arms are on the ropes, but I'm trying to come down even, and I was trying to like feed into it because I wanted to take it, get punched in the face so that I could react instead of, you know, and everything is circumstantial.
Right. Man, what a business. What a business wrestling is.
Yeah, but a lot of it has to do with your personal relationship with the person that you're with too. A lot of it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Rob, how would you handle though somebody like, say they're young and they're nervous and then they accidentally like stiff you or do, would you be like, he's young, he's got to learn, I got to give him a receipt? Or would you be like, he's nervous, I'm going to let him off a little bit on the let him off the hook.
It probably will see that it even depends on the move, you know. It depends. If the move is something where I'm like, you're gonna do what now, and it's already like, okay, this motherfucker's got this idea that he wants to do this ridiculous thing that honestly I don't think even belongs in there, but I'm in a giving mood, so I'm giving him his dream. I'm acquiescing to his request. I'm like, all right, you sure you got that, dude? Without, you know, and dude, don't worry. If it's a situation like that, and it's someone that I either don't know or don't like, and he catches me, for sure he's getting a receipt. You know,
for sure you're gonna receive that.
Yeah, that's a total different situation than someone. It's just like, oh my god, like I can't even. I can't believe, man. I've always wanted to fucking have a match with you. This is wow, man. My grandma and grandpa are out there in the crowd. My mom and dad, like my whole family. And we do something. We're out there, and he fucking like boom punches me in the face, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's interesting. I like that. That's a good way to handle it, I think, Rob.
Yeah. Boom.
Hey, we have a good question.
In a headlock. It said, bro, all right, it's all right. Settle down. Turn the knuckles. Turn the phone up. Dude, that hurts so bad. Like right there, like you got this
I
bone.
believe.
What's it, bone right here that your jaw?
Yeah, the cheekbone. The cheekbone.
Yeah, the cheekbone. I knew what that was. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, just imagine like fucking hardest bone squeezed on that thing.
Yeah, that'll put you in perspective there.
Yeah.
Jay Grove adds this too. They said, we love Joey Janela. What's your honest opinion? No hard feelings taken. What do you feel about Joey Janela, Rob?
First off, I gotta say I respect his game with the ladies.
Yeah,
You
how
gotta,
about that, huh? Holy
you gotta
smokes. Me
respect
too.
Joey's lady game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone, Pizza Thai Ben, the referee, told
Mm-hmm.
me a long time ago. I'd seen Joey. I guess this is when I met him. I met him, and he was with Tara Zepp, and without her crazy makeup, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
yeah, I was just mesmerized by her, and I think I mentioned it to Pizza Thai, like wow, like is that his girlfriend or something? And he had, and this was a long time ago,
Yeah.
so don't be getting mad at him if you're his present girlfriend. This was before he was with you, but Pizza Thai Ben said, dude, he's always got the best looking girls like in every town. And I was like, really? Like that's so interesting. And since then, all the girls that I've seen of his exes, current ex, whatever, like I said, I respect his lady game. He seems to have something with the ladies, and they like him. They like him. How bad of a guy can he be?
That's it. He's got the Kavorka. He's got the Kavorka in Seinfeld. No,
Not the
like he's had
not Jack Kevorkian.
not
Not
Jack Kevorkian.
not the suicide.
No. But no, he's had
Outside
Penelope.
of that, I like him personally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of the death style matches. I think he can wrestle too, but I think he sacrifices a lot of wrestling and the credibility in order to get some of that death stuff over.
Yeah, I think too. He definitely has the deathmatch vibe in regards, but I think he's handles like he's got a persona and charisma that attaches to the fans, and I think that can speak more to his ability to get over, obviously, and to market himself. I think, which is great. I think that's a good aspect that he has, and yeah, he's a funny and nice guy too. Anytime I've interacted with him,
Apparently, he's got a huge schlong.
man, how about that too?
I don't know that. I don't know if that's
That's rumor and innuendo.
That's an assumption
That's an
based on
assumption.
you get it.
I get it.
Um,
Frankie Chorizo has a question. Which wrestlers have had the shortest workouts?
and also, if
Something is
Joey,
that.
I don't know how much he has to do with promoting, but I remember Sabu telling me about this GCW. Seems like 2 years ago, maybe a little longer even. And I remember he was real excited about it. He thought that I was going to be too. He was like, man, this seems like, what they're doing, what they're building is something really cool. And this could be like a good place, where we could possibly like work in the future, like a new ECW.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying that. So to see that, they're still going, and to see the house they drew with Sabu's last match, that was really impressive. And I like the lights they had, whatever the fucking Joey Janela spring break, whatever you call all that stuff. I mean, it made him look pretty professional in my opinion. So I want to say that. I don't know if Joey has anything to do with that or if that's all the other guy.
Yeah, Brett Lauderdale
Yeah.
is the main promoter. But
Okay, yeah.
like Joey too, he able to market and have unique, fun matches. Like Sabu's last match, that's an awesome, obviously like legendary match now. But then he's also wrestled like guys off the wall that you wouldn't expect. So many like older veterans that would go back in the ring. Like I think he wrestled X Pac. He wrestled Ash LaRue came back and like after like 20 years, and so he has a good way to position things and make those Joey Janela spring break things feel so unique too. So I think he's cut a good niche into the business. That's, I think, positive for the business, which is cool, And not a lot of talent can say that they do that. So I think it's great.
What was that
yeah.
question?
So
Okay.
Frankie asked, which wrestlers have had the shortest workouts?
X-Pac. You just mentioned.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. I remember him one time talking about I can't remember, so whatever I say is not going to be right. I have to just use an example because I really don't remember what numeric figure he used. But I remember him one time talking about working out, and he said something about like that's all you need is like 3 sets. That's all you need. Boom. I'm in and out when I'm in the gym. 15 minutes, I'm gone. And it could have been 6 sets. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, I remember, like he's saying it as if like that's all you need, and I remember thinking, first off, you know how I am when people tell me what I need.
Yeah.
You know how I take that. And I'm
Wait a second.
I'm already thinking maybe that's all you need. And then I'm also thinking, but that's all you need to look like you do, which most people wouldn't even think that you spend those 15 minutes in the gym. Not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, like, this is what I was thinking a few years ago when he said it. And I was thinking, but what about like all the guys that look like, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, that mistakenly spend an hour or two in the gym? Like, why don't you tell them that all they need is, 15 minutes in and out and 3 sets or whatever it was he said. It's just something that I'll never forget. And then I saw a few months ago, I saw him and he looks jacked and he's got, he's jacked and he's got abs. And I was like, whoa, look at him. And then I saw something, maybe it's an interview, something where one of his interviews. And someone asked him, they said, do you still just do the ab roller for your abs? And then he responded with the same thing. Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need is 3 sets, for your abs. He said, but they got to be intense, real slow sets, though. And so that sticks out in my mind.
That's awesome. I gotta ask him about that. That's awesome.
He looks awesome now, right? Like
he looks great.
Yeah, better than I remember looking.
Yeah, he looks great, man.
Yeah.
He I tell you what, X-Pac's one of my favorites. He's just like, he added such a unique element to like the Outsiders, to DX, everything. You think about, he's so underrated, I think, in a lot of ways.
He's to me, he's a strange ingredient just because of like not by himself, but when he's like with the Generation X or even him thinking about him hanging out with Hunter, to me it's kind of they just seem like they're so different, but they seem like different people.
Right. And he's the big animal lover too, which is always great too. He shares stuff on social media about that. Seth, we'll close out with this question here. Seth, thanks for the $20, my brother. Any move that requires the guy taking it to wrap his legs around an opponent behind him who has him waistlock looks super fake to me. Oh, any move that requires the guy taking it to wrap his legs around an opponent behind him who has him waistlock looks super fake to me. Like, why would I help you hold me up so you can hit your big move on me? Example, the jaded move.
Appreciate the contribution. Is Jaded Cora Jade?
I don't know. Explain, Cora Seth. Jaded? Is that Jade or is that Jade Cargill where she lifts the person up and their
probably
legs
that? No, it's that. That's what he's talking about. It's that.
Okay, is that what that is?
What he means. Cora Jade's so cute. Can I just say that?
By the way, she's attractive. She's attractive.
I don't know if we ever talked about her yet or not, but
we've never talked about her. No.
When she introduced, I met a bunch of them when I was there at NXT, and I thought I remember her introducing herself as I don't know, I think Brianna or something. And so I remembered that. And next time I saw her, I was like, hi, Brianna. She was like, hi, and then I found out later that's not even her name. And I'm like, oh, I'm such a dumbass. No wonder she looked at me like, I thought she was surprised I remembered. And she was like, what the fuck you calling me that for? But I'm sure I remember it wrong. I'm sure it was a different girl then, but I met a bunch of them at the same time. But anyway.
Well, you know what her name is? You know what her name is, though?
I've
It
seen it.
is. It's Bree. So you were close, Bree.
Oh, it is. I bet I did call her the right name then. What?
Yes. And
what?
but you know what? Her
What's
actual full name is Brianna. It is Brianna.
What?
So you're right, Rob.
Oh,
You nailed
holy
it.
crap! Thank you.
You fucking
I
nailed
was
it.
impressed. Man. All right, you just changed my whole last 6 months.
How about that?
Yeah. What were we talking about before? Oh, jaded. No, I agree 1,000%. Every time I see it, I tell the person how to get out of it. Every time we see that where a person is stuck, someone's stuck back to back and they can't move because someone has their arms and their legs are wrapped around the person's waist. I always say, unwrap your legs.
Unwrap your legs. So easy.
Boom. It's the escape.
That's it.
Escape. Like, pay me. I'll teach you.
I'll show you how to do it.
That'll be my my seminars that I go. I'm going to go on tour to the wrestling schools. I'm going to say, okay, say you're in say someone's got you by the throat and they're holding you up and you're stuck because your legs are like wrapped around them and your legs are locked behind. Unlock your legs.
Lock your legs.
So
Swing
you're
your legs
unstuck.
around.
You're unstuck. Boom.
It's that easy. It's that easy.
But I hate that equally as well. It's something I'm with Seth on that. I see a bunch of moves like that, and it's like the person goes, oh no, and as soon as they go up, they hook their legs around. Oh no, I'm stuck.
Help me.
Thank you, camera. I appreciate you catching that action.
How about that?
Yeah.
Do you like so is the tree of woe believable to you when somebody gets put in the tree of woe?
Yes, because I have been stuck there on more than one occasion.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, there we go.
Sometimes it is hard as fuck to get out of there, and it's killing your calf sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I have the turnbuckle is right on that muscle. It's like, oh, and you can't, it hurts so bad that you can't even like sit up and you can't reach it. So you're trying to swing and trying to get momentum just to pull your foot out. And yeah, I've been legitimately stuck. So I know that that one can hold you.
The tree of woe is effective, everyone. It's confirmed.
That's just like, by the way, might have said this one before. I probably did. But Pee Wee, the referee, the ECW, that I used to always have to prove wrong because he would always have these thoughts that it would conflict with my logic. One time he said, did I tell you about that, about throwing against the ropes?
No, elaborate.
I'm telling it again anyway. So either way, listen to it again, bitch, and you're gonna like it. So we're in the ring. Damn, where are we? I can picture the arena. Buffalo? I think we're in Buffalo at the Burt Flickenser Center. Wow, that's amazing. But anyway, it's in the daytime. The ring is set up, the doors aren't open yet. And Pee Wee and I have this conversation. He's a referee, not an athlete. So there's where we always disagree. And I always tell him I can do anything better than him because I'm an athlete. And anyway, this night during this conversation, he says, well, wrestling, of course, wrestling isn't can't be real because like if you threw me into the ropes, I wouldn't hit the ropes and run back if I was really trying to defend myself or fight for my life. And I said, what do you mean you wouldn't fucking come back? Dude, that's a slingshot. If I throw you into the ropes, it's going to throw you back at me. No, it won't. All I got to do is hang on. And I was like, oh, my God. And so we got into one of these back and forth like we always do. Dude, if I throw you hard as I can into that, and we had steel cable, by the way. The nylon ropes, better, he would have had a much better chance with the nylon ropes, but the steel cable, when I hit those things, it goes boom and it throws me back. So I knew it would with him. And he said, I'll just hang on. I said, even if you're like, if I throw you hard as I can, he goes, yeah. Boom. Okay. Of course we got to try it. So we're in the middle of the ring, and I grab his wrist, and I mean, I sunk down into a deep squat, put my whole ass into it, and pulled him and put my hand on his back and threw him. By the way, I hate it when wrestlers don't throw each other like that. That's one thing I don't like about Lucha Libre is they just go and they smack him on the back and they take off running. I hate that, and I hate anything in between there. A lot of American wrestlers are lazy about it. And anyway, the way I got trained is, to put your whole body into it like that. So this is what I'm doing, but I'm trying to throw him as hard as I can with all of my weight. And I did. Woof. And he went wham, and he went into the ropes, and the ropes threw him, and he went wham, and he went halfway across the ring and landed on his face. Boom.
Whoa.
I'm looking at him, and I'm like, so he goes, oh, no, let me do it again. Let me try again.
Oh, my.
I slipped. So we did it again. Boom, same results. It hit him, and it was like a slingshot. Boom, it sent him halfway back. Boom, he landed on his face. So then he's got to come up with some kind of bullshit. Well, that's just because you're so much stronger than me and bigger. Like, either way, dude, the road.
It worked.
Yeah.
Wow. So you dispelled.
Anyway,
Yeah.
somehow that related to what we were talking about. Let's relate.
What were we talking
Let's
about?
make the connection.
Well, we were talking about.
Someone asked, has anybody been in? No, that was which, by the way, we call them potatoes when we stiff each other.
Yeah, each other.
Oh, no,
Seth was talking about the jaded move and what we were talking about. And we're talking about Trio Woe being unbelievable, but it is believable. And so maybe that's where it came from.
Yeah, I think so, because I was saying, dude, just unhook your legs. Like, it looks like you're holding yourself. You're not stuck.
Yeah.
You just wrapped your legs around the person. You're not stuck. Like me saying, just unwrap your legs. Like, to me, that sounds like Pee Wee saying, just hold on to the rope if it's, easy escape. But, but with that, he was wrong. And with this, I'm right. Me and Seth are right. Yeah. Unwrap your legs. Let gravity take over. Boom.
Boom. Make it happen.
Gravity, yo.
Gravity's key, man. It's key. Hey, Facade's in the house. I'll be seeing Facade this weekend. He's gonna be at the Pittsburgh show that I'm on commentary for. So
speaking of, he's with the Terra Zep. Yep.
Terra Zep.
I might see them on Instagram. They're together now. We were just talking about
that.
If you just tuned in.
Yeah.
Your
ears must be burning.
Girl.
Yeah. The ears must be burning, Facade.
If you've been here all along, then we love her. It's all good.
Yes, absolutely.
We love Neon
Jay Grove. RVD, you are the shit. Thank you both for taking my questions. Love you guys. Love you guys too. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in and chatting.
We got a last minute run-in.
Hey, look at this. What's up, Katie? How's it going? Good. Hold on, stay there for 1 second. I gotta pull it up. Boom! I made a new frame. Look at this.
Okay.
RVD and Katie. Boom.
Oh, cute.
So whenever you're on the show, I'll put it up there for you. Yeah.
I've been hanging out with family, but I'll be back next week.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Tell everybody said hi.
I will.
Yeah. You guys enjoy the baby shower this week too. That'll be fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
indeed.
Been a fun show. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. We did another show.
Man. Good stuff, huh?
All right, man. Appreciate it, everybody.
Yes.
Take out the trash.
Take out the trash, Devon. Get the trash. Get the trash. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate everybody. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Rob. You guys are the best. And we'll see you all next week on One of a Kind with RVD. That's RVD and KT.
Bam. Whole up and show, yo. Thanks, Van Dam. Thanks.
Peace.